tempo is also something which is made reference to.
Tempo's more of a Magic the Gathering phrase again, isn't it?
Yeah, I can understand what that means in that you're ramping at the same time you're drawing. You're placing scrolls down. You're defeating. You're destroying more. So again, it sort of mixes in with the card advantage.
It's more of a case of your opponent playing stuff quicker than you can respond and destroy them, sort of thing. So if they're being able to play, say, 2 creatures a turn, all you can do is destroy one of them, like spark it, say. They're gradually going to just win. But that's where things like the veterans and stuff comes in. You've gained a creature, they've lost one. It's a lot different, really.
I think tempo perhaps might work for decks which are slow builds, or even factions that are slow builds. So, whereas growth is seen as a get it on the field, start attacking straight away. You want to be destroying them as they place them, don't you? So, if you are at, it's one of the 2 things that you'll probably cringe when I say this, but you place a, in the second turn you place a brave. You destroy. I've done this a few times. You destroy. You damage the idol. They place a 4 health unit down or something like that, 3 or 4 health unit. Your brave's obviously not going to do it. So what you then do is you place a wolf down. It's got haste. Put Crimson Bull. Suddenly you've got 5. 4, 7 attack, and it will destroy most things. Whilst you maybe not be gaining card advantage because you're destroying one thing by putting 2 down.
That would be, in a sense, that would be an example of card advantage, actually, because if, say, you just played as, say, a spearman in an early game and they've played a Ragged Wolf Crimson Ball, in the very early stages of the game, them losing scores in their hands, so say they can only ramp up to 4 and you can still ramp up to 6 by sacking resources and playing one thing. And if they're playing 2 scrolls to deal with your 1 in the early game, that is the sort of card advantage situation. But later on in the game, that sort of situation well defined, it's not such a big deal. But if you can get up to 6 and still deal with their stuff, and if they're responding to your stuff by playing more scrolls than you have to, then that's the sort of situation.
A weird thing, it might not necessarily be relevant to deck building as such, but a weird thing...
to be honest, I don't think much of this stuff has been relevant.
No, probably not really. I think we're talking about sort of the use of scrolls, certainly, and how you can combine them. That's my weak way of saying, getting you to answer my questions, really. One of the things that I've found is with Veta, I don't think it seems to be that useful in later game. Where I found it most useful is trying to get to 5. Now, if I'm at 3, drop it down, then there's maybe less chance of them being able to destroy it straight away. I may have already placed a unit down, so they're not going to attack it straight away. I hit 4, but because I've got the Veta down, I'm already hitting 5 resources, and I can get a big unit down straight away. So that in itself, sort of, to me, would, there we go, loosely linking in to card advantage and getting a sort of a faster tempo. You're jumping to a certain extent up resources and being able to start producing the stronger units when really your opponent is still 1 or 2 behind.
Yeah. Don't really have much to add to on it.
Right. I think probably the last thing, we've already been talking for 1 hour and 12 minutes so far. I'm just desperately hoping. I'm desperately hoping that this is recorded.
Because I'm not doing it again. I haven't had my tea yet.
Haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a spag bol to see.
Oh, very nice.
I've got to have it tonight, otherwise, because I defrosted it. So.
Right, yeah. All right, well, if you don't mind,
I don't mind at all.
would you mind just going through, coming up with an idea of a deck build straight away, off the top of your head? A spaghetti bolognese build.
A spaghetti bolognese build? Well, it's better if you suggest. Just say, what do you want? We'll walk it through with you, shall we? What's a scroll you like in Decay? What takes your fancy?
Oh, well, I like Necrogeddon. I think people are saying that it's been nerfed. Some people are saying it's been buffed.
Mm-hmm.
Can we build something based off Necrogeddon?
Okay, well, bring up Necrogeddon. We'll take a look at it. We'll try and get you. I'm going to go into teacher mode.
Oh, it's the least. It's the
least effective thing.
No. I know least about.
Try and get you to think. I need to build it. Okay, so we've got Necrogeddon.
Mm-hmm.
Necrogeddon says, destroy all creatures you control. Creatures destroyed this way are replaced by undead husks at countdown 0. So, we want to destroy our own creatures.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the best way of doing that? Do we want expensive creatures or cheap creatures?
I think it's going to be cheap creatures. You first of all want to be able to get to 6, but you want to have enough creatures on the board to make the best use of Necrogeddon.
Exactly. And if we have more expensive creatures, they're usually better, which you don't want to get rid of. So we want more cheaper creatures than normal.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we look at the creatures that are available at the moment, so if you do T, the colon creatures. There you go. Okay, so Decay actually has quite a few cheap creatures to have a look at. So we'd want things like Loyal Darkling, the Husks, Stabbing Monkhead, Mangy Rats, maybe. Just things along those lines. I think we want to kill our own creatures. We want lots of things that we can play Necrogeddon and a creature the same turn, say.
Sorry, it was Loyal Darkling.
So Tether Recruit?
Tether Recruit, right, yes.
That means we have access to Order as well.
Right.
So we could add cheap Order creatures. So,
with Mangy Rat, now, it sort of makes me think maybe we should go into Rat King.
Now, Rat King costs 4. Now, we could do that, in which case I would say get rid of Tethered Recruit. So do you want to try and go that way?
Yes, see what we get.
Okay, we're going to do a Decay and Growth deck, which involves rats and tokens, so we can do stuff. So add Rat King and Beast Rat and Mangy Rat.
There we go.
Okay. Excellent. So, you can get rid of Lord of Darkling for now then. We might add it back in later, we just want to start with the basics.
Okay.
We've got rats, Necrogeddon to get rid of all the tokens to get in for the win, yeah? Mm-hmm. So that's the image in our mind.
Yeah.
We've got a field of rats, we play Necrogeddon, all our husks attack, we're like, yeah, okay? Now getting to 4 growth is going to be a problem. And what options do we have in Decay to allow us to help us do that?
Do we have a growth generator in Decay?
We do.
We must do.
See if you...
Was it D?
Is it D?
There we go. Return to nature. Description.
Oh, description.
D colon.
Just have a D in it, does it?
Return to nature.
Very good. Right. So that would help us if a creature this way increase growth by 1. So it's not guaranteed, but it will help us along the way.
Well, this is. I think this is one of the problems with descriptions on this, because it doesn't necessarily mean it's anything that's killed with this on, isn't it? It's not just if they're killed to -1 health.
Opponent's creatures get -1 health until end of turn. If a creature with this effect is killed, increase growth by 1. So
essentially, it's
anything that dies that turn, you will gain a growth. Not just when you play it, things die during the turn.
Yeah.
So you got that. So you're gaining growth-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll give you access to Rat King. Now, things... Now, there's one more. There's Pestis. Do you think we could get away with Pestis? What do you think?
+1 attack for each rat you control. When an enchanted creature kills another unit, summon a mangy rat on a random tile on your side. Ah, right, so that's another generator, isn't it?
That is another generator. So should we go for that?
And also it boosts...
Yeah. So we're thinking we've got rats, we can produce more rats, we've got tokens as well. Right, so now that we are in growth as well, there is another thing in growth to help rats, which is Junkyard.
Yeah.
Now, Junkyard will boost the health of our rats. It's in growth, is it? And it's another excuse to go into growth if we want to as well. So that might be an option. We don't know if it's good or not. This is what we test.
Right, okay.
Now, we could add Undying, if I remember what's called correctly, which allows us to ramp into Decay as well. It's not called Undying, is it? What's it called? I've completely forgotten.
What does the picture look like?
Unbind? The purple thing. Unbind, there you go.
Ah, right,
so
yeah.
That was only one structure which is helping us. I don't think that would be a good idea. What do you think?
So we can't use summons, because that's in order, isn't it?
Not particularly. Well, we could add summons, and we could add the order creature as well.
Yeah.
Or we could just not add the order creature, but I think we would like to.
Because I was thinking that if you were to have 3 growth memorials,
yes,
and 3 growth memorials, that's going to increase that, and then you can just destroy those straight away. Increase decay by 1.
It's not particularly worth it, though, is it?
It's a 1-for-1, isn't it? With the Unbind.
Yeah, but I don't think we really want to go down that route.
Right, okay.
So we've got rats, we've got ways to protect our rats in Junkyard, we're going to boost stuff with Pestis. Now, things are going to be dying. You've only got 2... No, you've got 3, that's right. Things are going to be dying. What in Decay is good for things dying? There are 2 creatures which spring to my mind. They both cost 3. And they're the same. Lumbering Muckhead, so when something dies, its countdown is decreased by 1.
Ah, yes, of course.
And Rot Eater, when something dies next to it, its attack and health is going to be decreased by 1.
Right, okay.
Now, these won't necessarily work well with Nekogeddon, but they're there, so when the little things die, it's something to put Pestis on as well.
Okay.
So that's an option. Now, I want you to do the next bits. What would you like to add next?
Okay, I want to be able to draw scrolls as well. We want to be able to cycle through.
You want to draw more scrolls, okay. What would be a good way of drawing scrolls?
Well, I want 24 scrolls in my hand straight away.
You sure you want to add that? You've got cheap rats which will die easily. So the Animator won't really last too long, but the Muckheads and the Rot Eater would be good targets.
Yeah, it's just you're going to put that on there, then that's going to help.
Personally, I don't think that's a good route to go down.
You don't? Because of the fact that you're going to get damaged and that sort of thing.
I think we want to be really quick with this deck. So I think adding some more creatures would be good.
Right, so Sister then.
We can add Sister of Fox, that'll be 2 cost growth score, so we can try and play something in that gap to get to full growth, can't we?
Mm.
So Sister of Fox, yeah, I wouldn't be against that.
And she's going to die easily.
Yeah. Now, Breaker might be another option as well, because that's a good 3-drop.
Oh, we're going into unknown territory now. Okay, so...
Well, it's an option to think of. I don't necessarily think it's the best option, but it is there to think about. Maybe I think we should not go down that option for now, but that route rather.
I wonder whether Breaker is going to be released when Decay is released. You'd assume so, wouldn't you?
I'm not saying that. I would assume not. But I think we are lacking some 2-cost decay scrolls, decay creatures mainly. So we've got enough one drops in. We've got enough in Major out really. I think the Laurel Darkling Visage would be a good option. Visage would be good because it can keep drawing your scrolls if it destroys creatures, and the Darkling we'll get onto later because I've got ideas for that.
Yeah, I was looking at I mean the Sage I was looking at before because obviously there's this draw a scroll element on that.
Yeah.
And of course if I'm Necrogedding, then it's going to give me. I've got one of those on the field, then it always helps.
Happen. But if you're Necrogedding with Lord Darkling,
he kills another unit, doesn't he? Say sorry.
If you're Necrogedding with Lord Darkling out, you will do damage to idols as well, and that will help you actually contribute to doing damage. So if you add Lord Darkling as well.
Okay.
Now, as we're destroying our own creatures, there is a structure in Decay which will work quite well with that. Yeah?
Puppet Soldier, isn't it? No.
No.
Yeah.
Not yet. Totem of Suffering.
Totem of Suffering.
So, we're going to have stuff dying to Necrogeddon. If we have the Totem of Suffering out.
Yes, as we were saying before with the...
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay,
so we've got that as an option. Now, you mentioned Puppet Soldier there. We are in growth, so we can add nutrition and Puppet Soldier, can't we? So this will help us control the board a bit as well.
Yeah, it's just to make people aware if they're unsure of it. And Puppet Soldier says, when Puppet Soldier dies, all units on the same row are killed. Now, obviously the problem with that is normally most people would want to hide behind a structure. But the thing is if that is destroyed, then you want to be putting units behind it which are you're happy for that to happen. Okay, but the thing is...
we could stick Laurel Darklings behind Puppet Soldier, destroy the Puppet Soldier and blow things up with with Totem of Suffering, do damage that way as well. So we've got a sort of death theme going on. Now
just to say, nutrition.
Yeah.
Sacrifice target unit you control and add that unit's cost to your current resources.
So that's going on as well. Right, so we've now got 5 spaces left. So that's going to be a 2 of and something for 3 of. Now, we don't necessarily need 3 of some of these scrolls. I think maybe we can drop down to 2 Rat King. I think that would be good because I don't think we're going to get to 4 growth very often. And we don't want it in our hand all too often at the early stages of the game.
Yeah, but one question. One of the things that I've seen, whenever you're at the start, you start discarding, you start sacrificing the higher cost scrolls.
Yeah.
Now, probably wrongly, but if I always had a Rat King at the start.
If you had the choice between a Necrogeddon and a Rat King in your starting hand, you'd go with a Rat King.
Yeah. See, the thing is, it is a case of that. Well, I assume that's because you are wanting to get to the 6 Decay. That's the key point, really.
You're going to be starting in Decay, and you're going to stand a much better chance of getting to 6 Decay, say, when you are to 4 growth.
Yeah. I don't know why, but for some reason, in my mind, I don't know, this isn't drawing that many scrolls, but I was thinking, if I get rid of the higher one at the start... Sorry?
You can still sack scrolls in your hand, remember? So.
Well, no, I was saying if it goes to the graveyard, there isn't really a graveyard in this, but it's more likely to come back. But is it true that it shuffles the graveyard?
Yeah.
All right, okay, so there we go, that's that plan.
Anyway.
Okay, so we've got 6. So we've reduced Rat King down to 2.
Yep, that leaves us with 2 slots of 3. Now, do you think we've got enough growth scrolls?
Right, okay. With growth, we haven't got any 3s. We've got 1s and 4s. Got quite a few 1s.
Do you think this deck could incorporate a 3-cost growth scroll? Just think about it in your mind, you're playing the game. How many times do you think you're going to be able to get up to 3 growth, let alone 4? I mean, we don't know yet. This is what the testing's about. Cause
Well, the question is what you're going to gain from going to a 3.
I don't think there's anything in 3 worth going. I mean, you could go no AD. People are going to play Decay a lot, but If it was a sword cost 3, then yeah. But if it was a sword costing 4, I don't think we'd even play that. So.
What about a crown?
Why?
Basically, it's a good shield, but also if it dies, then it helps you.
How would it help me if it dies?
Because the countdown on Lumbering Muckhead.
But doesn't that mean for any creature?
Mm.
Wouldn't you be better off having a decay creature instead?
Yeah, which is actually killing things. Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. So I personally, I think we have enough growth scrolls.
Okay.
So I think looking in Decay for something. Now we're going to struggle with this deck to destroy opponent's creatures. We've got a Puppet Soldier, but there's a Decay Scroll of Damning Curse, which will allow us to destroy anything on the opponent's side of the board, any creature.
Mm.
But there's a massive downside with this deck where Damning Curse will just do 1 damage to all your creatures. Now, although we want them to die, we don't particularly want them all to die at the same time.
Yeah.
So, do you think the risk of playing Damning Curse is worth it? There's no wrong answer to this question.
Now, the thing is that looking at this, it seems to be a late game, a mid to late game.
Mm-hmm. So do you think we're better off going with Soul Steal instead?
Let's have a look.
Because Soul Steal will gain us a creature as well, which when it dies, we've got to get rid of damn first.
Yeah.
So if we had Soul Steal, that would only be able to destroy stuff with health 2 or less. But we will gain a creature from it. And us gaining creature will be a big advantage, because when it will die to Totem of Suffering or Necrogeddon, we get more stuff.
Would we actually get many creatures that are sort of 4 and 5 health down to 2? Because the limit with that obviously is...
Well, we'd be able to get 3 health stuff down thanks to Return to Nature. But we will be able to do some damage stuff. So maybe it's worth adding a poison scroll in as well.
Okay, yeah, Soul Steal. 2 of them?
Yeah, 2 of them. No, 3 of them. 3.
3.
Yeah. Now, because we aren't doing low damage, I'm going to leave this last up to you. Try and find a weakness in this deck. Think, what am I going to be playing against? And what are the answers to that? So we've got the hasted creatures which are going to be attacking us. I don't think we've got any mid-range. We haven't got any mid-range ones which are... Mid-range what?
Mid-range creatures, sorry.
Creatures. Okay, well we've got Rot Eater and Muckhead. Is that not enough? Or do you want a 4 or 5 cost creature?
Well, we've got nothing in... Well, we've got, what, Totem of Suffering at 4.
Yeah, so this is going to be a question of... what's it called? I can't remember. Curve, there you go.
Yeah.
So we've got quite a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4 costs, but we've got only 3 Necrogeddon at 6 and nothing at 5, so getting to something to sack for 5, we wouldn't have anything to play there. We'd have to play something cheaper. So, is there anything around 5 that you'd want to add in? Maybe if you want to fill a gap in there?
Oh, we are generating, aren't we? We're generating the...
We want things to die, so what would be good for us to die?
Oblivion Seeker.
Oblivion Seeker would be a good choice.
2 scrolls.
So draw us some scrolls, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm a genius.
Okay. Save it before you manage to close thing up.
The deck.
Now, one thing, there's no guarantee this deck's any good. But
yeah, of course.
You built it,
Mm-hmm.
You know what the plan is, You've got in your mind a sort of way that you want to go, so you know that you want to have things die, but not immediately. You want to try and get your rats out, so you want... And so as a backup plan, you've got Totem Suffering, so when things do die, you'll be burning them. When things do die, your Muckheads countdown will be going down. Your Rotti's health and attack will be going up.
Mm-hmm.
You want to try and keep your creatures on the board, so when you play Necrogeddon, you'll be able to do stuff. And things like that.
Yeah.
So do you think you could play this deck?
Yeah, I've got no problems with that.
Good. Shall we play against the hard AI and we can see if we can win a game with it?
Well, yeah, I'm going to be more than happy to carry on.
Yeah?
Is it an hour and a half now that we've been at this?
Well, let's make it 2 hours.
Okay. It's a two-parter, ladies and gentlemen.
7-parter.
Let's make sure I have, the deck. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Colon, right bracket. Okay, hard AI.
Yep. Have you ever played for hard AI?
I have. I've played it quite a lot, and was at the stage where I was beating it fairly consistently. And then they changed the AI, didn't they? So.
Well, on the test server, made it incredibly hard. You mean?
Oh, is that just on the test server they've changed it?
I have no idea. I think it is. Right, press control. Always press control. Please give us a good hand. That's pretty good. Right. Don't do anything. What do you think we should sack first?
Well, you mentioned Necrogeddon. Don't sack that. If you've got other ones that you're going to sack.
I didn't say that.
No, I didn't.
Not
say
what I said at all. I said if you've got a choice between Ratchet and Necrogeddon. Well, obviously, we're not going to be wanting to go into growth immediately. We're going to be wanting to play our Decay scores.
Yeah, I was thinking Sister of Fox.
Whether we're going to be able to play, we'd rather have Sister of Fox or Necrogeddon.
I'm thinking Sister of the Fox to get rid of first, because we're possibly going to be 5-6 turns down the road before we can start getting into growth anyway.
Okay, get rid of Sister of Fox then. No. Don't do. Sacked it for scrolls would have been worse. Don't end your turn out.
Sorry.
Because we can play a main duo.
Yeah, but the problem I have with that is if I prefer to use those. It's not a haste though. That's the only thing.
It hasn't got a haste.
No. Yeah, I'm going back to my growth thing there.
You're going back to Ragged Water.
Yeah.
Main duo would be good because it's got poison as well, so you can take out creatures as well. So. I think playing Mangy Rat will be a good move here.
Okay.
Remember, we want creatures out on the board to try and take over.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, Gun Automaton, he's played it there. That's fine. Simply, if we get Rot-Eater out and things die, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Right, what are we going to sack this to?
I would say we want the Loyal Darklings to go out.
We do want the Lord Darkness to go out.
So we want the idols being destroyed. Puppet Soldier, we don't want it to start dying just yet. So I'm thinking get rid of Puppet Soldier.
Well, it's a choice between Puppet Soldier or Necrogeddon.
So yeah.
I'm happy with either of those two, as long as you don't get rid of any of the creatures.
Yeah, we've got 3 Necrogeddons, haven't we? So you'd go, okay, well, we can always refer to that, and hopefully that's going to be... Or we're going to use all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it.
The thing is, if we draw puppets, if we are trying to play Puppet Soldier, we need nutrition as well.
Mm.
And our opponent hasn't really got anything to destroy with it anyway.
No.
So I think we can get rid of Puppet Soldier. Now we can play a Lord Darkling as well.
Now with this one, you place it in front of the...
Yes.
Because its countdown is next.
We want to protect the rat in case somehow we manage to destroy it with a creature. Don't think it will, but there you go.
Mm.
And we'd rather the thing die than the rat. Okay, now what?
Okay, so we want to try and get to 3.
We do. And what do you want to do when we get to 3?
Play the Rot Eater so we can obviously start getting the...
And where do you want to play the Rot Eater?
We play it in the middle?
Yep. We want to surround it with creatures so when they die,
yeah.
the Rot Eater will get boosted. Now it does die to burn, which will probably happen next turn, but ignore that.
Now, do I want the Manji or the Loyal Darkling to go? I'm thinking now Necrogeddon to go.
Okay, we'll get rid of Necrogeddon then. There we go. No burn, that's good. Right. We have a Totem Suffering.
And Totem Suffering. Just a reminder, when a creature you control dies, the opposing idol on that row has dealt 1 damage. Now, that's worth protecting, isn't it?
It is. Can we afford to protect it?
We could move the rat to there and put that.
Why?
Well, because if the rat dies, it means that it causes damage to that, and also it boosts that.
I would see Totem of Suffering more of an end game sort of scroll. If we play it now, we're going to be reducing the idols down to like 8 maybe. Which isn't really going to get us anywhere, is it? So, and if we move the Mangy Rat down, it'll die to Outcast next turn. And we want to keep our creatures as much as possible.
So get rid of that for.
But do we get rid of it for resources or scrolls?
Yeah.
We do have a very, very low decay scroll cost base, don't we? So we could get rid of it for scrolls and play both for Darkling and Mangy Rat.
Unless something else comes up.
And also sacking for scrolls means we have more options and we could sack next turn. So I don't see a problem with sacking Totem of Suffering for scrolls here.
So it's interesting because normally you'd want to try and ramp to 5 as soon as possible.
Yeah, but we don't need to, do we?
No.
Because we have quite low cost stuff.
Interesting.
We've got a Totem of Suffering in a big trap. Okay.
There we go.
Indeed.
Okay, so Loyal Darkling in the front.
Hang on a sec.
Loyal Darkling in the front, and then Manji behind, is what I would say.
Okay.
But at the top there.
Think first. Do we want to stay in the middle, or do we want to try and take out a creature? That gun automaton, we could take that out by moving up, and our Rotti to Mangy Rat will be able to deal with that, won't it? Now, there is a danger that he protects it, but if he does, we can just move back in the middle.
Okay.
So do you think it's worth moving all our creatures up?
Right, so move them up 1.
Yep.
And then place these 2 down there.
Not there. Those two, yeah. And you want to place them there because...
it's going to feed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we have 5 creatures on the field. Unfortunately, they are very low attack. So, if only Totem of Suffering was Ancestral Totem, but there you go. What's going on here? Elder. Oh! So that's good for us. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a Pestis.
Now, Pestis, if you read it, when enchanted creature kills another unit, summon a Mangy Rat. So if you manage to destroy the gun automaton of a creature this turn, with Pestis on, we will be able to get a Mangy Rat.
Yeah, we will be able to, because it's going to be on the Rot Eater, so the Rot Eater is going to kill it.
Yep. So if you enchant the Rot Eater with Pestis...
How about, would at this point, go into Growth and drop Beast Rat?
You could. It would leave your hand empty, though.
Right, okay.
However, sacking for resources would do that. So you can either sack... It might be worth just sacking the Beast Rat for scrolls here, and then play Pestis.
Okay, so we don't jump into that just yet.
Well, it's up to you.
Okay.
That's not the worst draw ever. But anyway.
That's it.
Yep. Now we are in trouble of things dying to Thundersurge.
Yeah.
But there's little we can do about that. But because we're dying to Thundersurge here, would it be worth getting rid of Rat King for Decay and playing Totem of Suffering? At least then if things do die,
yeah,
we are punishing him for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, because we're nowhere near that.
We are nowhere near... Yeah, okay. So if we go to now up to 4 Decay round 6, which isn't too bad. Now, we want to play it at the top left, yeah. And I also think we want our Rot Eater to be in the very, very middle. That way, if he does move up for some reason, our Rot Eater can take care of his Elder, and we'd be able to get a Mangy Rat from him. You follow?
Sorry, so you want this to...
Move down 1 into the very, very middle.
What, the whole group?
No, you can just move that guy.
I see, move him forward.
Then you can move your Rot Eater down. So you want to put more damage on the middle idol, preferably, don't you? Yeah, you move that right.
Oh, yeah.
Soon, do you go like that?
Yeah.
So if he does play Thunder Surge, he would take a lot of damage on his idols.
Yeah.
Right, so that's a 3/4, and that's quite powerful. Ooh. You have options, my friend.
Yeah. Okay, that's going to drop it down by 2, isn't it? So I could actually.
Remember, your Mangy Rat's going to poison that raider as well, so it will die. If you play Return to Nature, the poison, it will regain its health lost by Return to Nature at the beginning of his turn, so it won't affect it. So you could.
Right, yeah.
But killing something with Return to Nature would gain you growth. But we're not at that stage yet.
No, we're not.
So we could sack either Return to Nature or Beast Rat for scrolls. What do you fancy?
Yeah, I reckon Return to Nature, because I've got 2 of them.
Okay. Or would reducing their health be more an advantage than keeping a Beast Rat?
Well, this is not going to attack yet, in theory, and I could still bring that blokey up there to attack at some point.
I would get rid of Beast Rat.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got another Pestis. So if you play Pestis on your Mangy Rat, how much health will it get? How much attack will it get boosted by?
So it's, that would be what's +1 for each rat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's +2. So that's up to 3.
Plus 3. Yeah. So if you play Pestis on that Mangy Rat.
Alright, so it include itself as well.
So now wait. Now that Mangy Rat is going to gain you a rat. Which will also mean that your Rot Eater, which is also enchanted by Pestis, will gain another attack, which is 7, which will mean that idol will die.
Nice.
Now, this is also key, because if your opponent does kill one of your units, it will do 1 damage to it, to the idol. So you want to remove your creatures off that row apart from the Rot Eater, so that when they do die, when he does inevitably play Thunder Surge, the damage won't be wasted on that little idol, yeah? So you move all those creatures up apart from Rot Eater.
Yeah. It's interesting that this is very much based off movement and applying it to the end. To a certain extent, you're ignoring what's in front.
We are going for it, as we're saying.
Yeah.
So,
okay, enter.
Yes, that'll kill that. You'll gain a rat. The attack will get boosted to 7. Destroy that idol. And that'll do it to 6. He's moving up. There's Thunder Surge. Boom. Right, so it was a good job to do that. So that's now down to 6 and that's down to 1.
It's quality.
And this is, this is now a case where we want to protect that Rot Eater from dying, because we are going to need an attack on that top row to win this game. If we get the attack on the top row, we win, because we'll be able to play creatures and they'll just be able to die.
Yeah. Now, we've got a Mangy.
We have a Mangy, a Seeker, and 2 Return to Natures. Do we sack for scrolls or resources?
Right, I reckon. See, because Pestis is based off rats.
Well, it's at 5 attack at the moment. We don't need too much more attack, do we?
We need 1 for there and just what?
Well, we can treat them as the 5 attack on the top row is all we need, because that'll get it down to 1. But any creature we have that dies on that row will just kill it. Yeah? So if they're down to 5 health, they're effectively dead as long as we keep that totem alive. So if we get... if we sack Return to Nature, say we're going to sack Return to Nature, trust me.
Yes, we are.
If we sack that for Decay, we can play Oblivion Seeker, which means we would be able to protect the Rot Eater by playing it in front. And if it dies, we draw scrolls. However, if we play it in front of the Rot Eater, it will connect to the Totem of Suffering, which means it will die to Thunder Surge, which you don't want. So, we could sack for scrolls, and then see what happens.
Right. Now, he's on 0 scrolls.
He's on 0 scrolls.
He's got 7 energy, though.
And he won't be able to kill us next turn.
No. This still needs to be moved up, though, doesn't it?
This is being moved up top right, yes. Whatever happens to do that now.
Okay.
Now, would you rather have Oblivion Seeker out, or would you rather sack for scrolls and just hope and see what else you can get?
I'd rather sack, actually.
Sack for what?
I'm hoping to... I'll sack for scrolls, sorry.
Okay.
Maybe get a few more rats out.
Okay, how would rats benefit you?
Well, it's based off the pestis.
Yes, but we don't need to attack, do we?
Well, we need one
Oh,
more up there, I suppose.
In which case, we can just play Mangy Rat next time.
Yeah, could be, couldn't it?
So I think
Yeah,
playing
Oblivion.
Oblivion Secret would be better.
Yeah, because then if he dies, you can always go to 3
Yes.
scrolls.
So if you sack for Decay, now where are we going to put it? Are we going to put it on the top, or are we going to put it on the middle? Because we do have options.
We don't want to do it middle.
We don't want it connecting to the Totem of Suffering.
Yeah.
We can put it in the middle, protect the middle idol, and we can connect it to the Rot Eater, so if it dies, the Rot Eater will get boosted.
Hmm.
We could put it on the top right, in which case it's still connected, but it's there to die, and if Totem of Suffering dies... I mean, if it dies, Totem of Suffering will deal 1 damage.
Yeah.
Or we could put it in the middle row on the very left, so
Yeah.
it might make the outcast attack it. So, it's up to you, my friend. This is going to be a key move.
I reckon. Right there.
You go there, are you?
Yep.
Okay. End your turn. Let's hope the Rot Eater survives. Don't play burn, don't play burn. You played a line over, and you played it there as well. That's brilliant. Right.
I think that's stupidity, that wasn't it?
That is pure thickness. Oh, we win.
Right. So, if I this is the basis of it, wasn't it?
Don't get rid of that.
Right. So what I want to do is I want to sack. It could be either of them. Really doesn't matter, does it?
Can, as long as you don't get rid of Necrogeddon.
So that now, just to be clear, what's going to happen here? This is going to convert them into husks.
Yes.
It's also going to destroy that. Actually, no, sorry. Yeah, it's also going to
Destroy your
cause.
creatures.
Yeah, it's going to destroy both of those. But will it actually cause any idle damage?
Yes, the Totem of Suffering will go off. It's not going to get rid of the Totem of Suffering. So.
Of course, because structures stay the same.
Yes.
The buildings stay.
So your Necrogeddon will destroy your creatures, doing 1 damage to each idol.
Mm.
So it'll be a 5 and 0.
And then
That'll
two
leave
husks,
2 husks.
for a 6.
Yeah.
GG!
And you join Lord Darkly as well. So you win. Well played.
Within 9.
Is that how quick it was? 9 turns?
Yeah,
That's pretty fast. And somehow you got 526 gold.
yeah.
That's pretty good. Well done.
So is it a viable deck then, do you think? Can you see
Yeah.
problems with that?
Yeah, Rat Kings and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think the growth is necessarily needed. I think maybe going to order would be better. That way you can add the recruit and maybe some other things like that. But because if you play the recruit, you've got a creature as well, and then when it dies, you'd gain order automatically. So you don't have to sack for order, which will be a key turn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? What we've done there is we've built a deck. We've based it off what seems a solid idea. It's worked, but of course some errors were possibly made by...
It seems to see just by that one game, you can identify so many weaknesses. You can see that Return to Nature wasn't as good as you hoped.
No.
You can see that in no way or chance in hell was I ever getting to full growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can see that you can win without it as well.
Yeah. So suddenly my Rat King deck is no longer a Rat King deck, really, is it?
Yes.
But
you know, ideas change.
yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because you think, oh, I want it to be all about the rats, but it suddenly it's became. And if you've been listening to any of the streams, then me having to use the word rat so often is actually causing me physical pain. But the thing is that I've now got a deck which I can manipulate, replace RATs with other units, other creatures. You have to whistle if you say it. I didn't actually say it, but there you go. I'll give you the full works. But if you replace it with other creatures which have the same effect as what you wanted to do, then suddenly you have a deck which could be viable.
You can see those Lord Darklings did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So when it died with a toast of something, it did 3 damage, which got you there.
Yeah.
And you can see that moving those creatures up before that Thunder Surge really helps, because if they were on that row, you would have lost so much. I think you'd have lost 5, I think, maybe. So it means you're out in the Lord Darkness, so you would have missed out on 5 idle damage there. So.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, movement is very important. I think.
I actually think we probably got quite lucky in this game, but
of course,
you can see the idea.
Yes, yeah, that's just it. But you'd never base it off a single game. You have to play quite a few, wouldn't you?
I still make changes, but still probably play a couple more before we see if it's viable or not.
Yeah, but I think the key thing is not to do it when you're actually doing it ranked.
It's definitely playing ranked, but maybe you will. Maybe after the change you think, oh bloody hell, this is amazing, I'm going to win every game.
Yeah. As long as the opponent's an idiot.
It's double gold! I don't know. I don't sound you got 526 gold from it. I got 60 gold from destroying idols, so that's interesting.
Yeah, maybe they...
Maybe double gold's on the test.
It's still applied in the test server, yeah.
I don't know.
Alright, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for this.
No problem.
I hope that this has helped you guys who are watching / listening. By all means, leave horribly abusive comments in the channel.
Not helping you so far. Yeah.
We fully expect that. See, this is just the thing is we want people to be intelligently criticising the videos that we have. So you're not trolling if you are saying, well, I think this would be more suitable. Obviously, the deck at the end was something that we were just throwing together. But if you've got any ideas yourself or any particular aspects you'd like, either myself, probably not, or Blinky to talk about further, then by all means post.
Yeah, I can do another one of this if you want.
Yeah, excellent. Well, this is now the first of our 10-part series. So eat your spag bol quickly.
I can't have spag bol before, because it's 11 o'clock now.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, no problem.
And thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Come on.